Welcome back, folks, to the EU Challenger Cup. We got another game coming up. Angry Pikachus versus Torpedoes this time. Welcome back, Shadow.
Hey, it's good to be back, and it's exciting to see Angry Pikachu's versus Torpedoes after their very dominant last performance. I mean, Angry Pikachu's from start to finish really held control last game, so I'm interested to see if they can continue that against Torpedo, which has a lot of names on the team.
Yeah. First band's coming out here from Angry Pikachu is going to be the Thor and the Soul. Torpedo in response with Sylvanas. We'll see what their second band is just in a minute here. But yeah, a lot of big names. A lot of names been around for a while. Wolf Velo Street. Game Hunter's real OG here in Smite. He's been around since the launch tournament.
Launch tourney. He was known as the God Hunter back then. The infamous pentakill of Amana. That was probably one of the most hype moments in my Smite memory.
Yeah, coming out with a Cupid response band. Kind of curious. I don't know. Cupid isn't a real valued pick in my mind. First pick coming out, Janice, always a strong mid laner, especially in the European region.
I think that the Cupid ban might be something that us being from NA might not be used to. So maybe in EU there's something that was done in a tournament or in another setting that just made everyone go, okay, we don't want to deal with Cupid. But I think what it was, and I think I overheard a friend discussing this, was Bluestone. Cupid was really threatening. I'm not sure if that was the case, but either way, he's been a consistent ban the last 2 games, so obviously there's something to this character. But Torpedo locking in the Athena Serket, again, very powerful picks, and Angry Pikachu's highlighting some pretty aggressive picks of their own, and they are going to lock it in. Ares and Neath, that's a very heavy lane dominating duo.
Yeah, this lane offering a lot of control, coming out with Ares and Neath, a lot of kill potential, a lot of rotation threat, especially as well with the Janice hanging out in the mid lane there. That's one of the reasons Janice is so heavily prioritized, is his ability to just rotate around the map, drop shipping his whole team kind of wherever they need to be. It's really hard to catch a good Janice out of position ever.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's really hard to actually ever kill some of the teammates of the Janus because he can offer portals for them. He can actually turn around, do a lot of burst damage, swing a fight. Unstable Vortex is such a high damage dealing ability, and it's such low cooldowns typically due to high CDR builds. It just offers so much utility to the side of Angry Pikachu, so them having that is probably going to be a deciding factor for this game in certain aspects, especially once these big objectives start becoming more of a fighting ground once they get towards the Gold Fury and Fire Giant. But Wheelix banned out for Torpedo, and then Nox banned out for Angry Pikachus.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you were watching the last game, but that was probably one of the best Nox performances I have ever seen. She was able to use that kit just perfectly, just exactly how it was written to be used.
Zhang Kui going to be highlighted by Torpedoes. Not sure that one's going to go in. And actually, yes, it's going to be locked in. So Torpedo sitting on a very hard to kill team composition, with the exception of Freya. And most of the characters that we're looking at are pretty tough nuts to crack.
Yeah, Zhang Kui, kind of one of those interesting mages, as he just did receive a buff to his health and as his health and protection scaling. He is more of a front-liney kind of mage, which is it's almost counterintuitive to what Janice is, where he's trying to just kind of buzz around the fight, trying to buzz into the back line, drop his damage, get out. Zhang Kui is just kind of like the big greasy dude who just comes in and he dumps all his damage right into your face.
Oh man, you just thought of a new skin. That's pretty cool. The car mechanic. Yeah, I can see it. The jacket, and then maybe get a toolbox in the back of his backpack, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, Zhang Kui, I agree with you completely. Is so frontline focused. He has such high defenses just naturally before his ultimate is used that it makes it difficult to kill him. But he still offers that good amount of burst damage.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, we're going to see Bellona and Kronos picked up to round out this comp from Angry Pikachus, as well as a Chalk in response coming out from the side of Torpedo. Torpedoes, that's a freaking nuts front line if I've ever seen it. They got 3 big beefy dudes to kind of front line and protect. Freya is the most important. Last game, Freya was just kind of getting dumped on in the back line. But with this front, I think they're going to kind of do the 3 protect 1 strategy here, where if you can keep your Freya alive throughout an entire team fight, she's able to just shred any character on the opposing team.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have Serket looking to aggress on the back line while no one's looking, and that's another, issue that the members of Angry Pikachus are going to have to worry about is not only do they have to try and get through this front line and get to the Freya, who's going to be more than likely the high burst damage dealing character for the team, but they also have to worry about Serket coming in the back line, really harassing your Kronos or your Janus or your Neith. I mean, really just causing a lot of issues. However, Angry Pikachus, in my opinion, do have a strong team composition, especially in the laning phase. Kronos typically, back in the day at least, used to beat Chalk out in most scenarios in terms of laning. Janus does really well overall. It's kind of hard to shut him down even as a Jonqui. And then Neith Ares is really hard to make an argument against actually beating them in the lane.
Yeah, that's a very strong lane, especially against a low mobility character like a Freya. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right as far as how these team fights are going to play out with Serket. I think we're going to see a lot of this three-man front line from Torpedo come through and kind of shatter the team into, like, hopefully split them up a little bit, and then Serket's just going to kind of have free reign as to who she wants to pick off.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and ask it, even though you're biased in your description. Gives me a strong inclination of who you want to win, or who you think is going to win. But who do you think is going to win?
I'm liking Torpedo. These are names I'm familiar with, but I know kind of how they like to play. I've seen them perform. We'll see though. Angry Pikachu's I mean that was the first time I saw them play in that first game, but they were looking real strong with that. So hopefully they'll make me eat my words here and we'll have a good game.
Now, I'm not saying this because I just want to counteract your opinion. I actually do believe that I think Angry Pikachu has a stronger team composition. So you talked about the threat potential of Freya. Let's go back in time and start remembering the threat potential of a Kronos. Kronos actually one of the characters that we saw in the launch tournament being played by Game Hunter that he dumpstered with, and is just such a strong pick once it gets to that late game point. And you look at everything else, they have everything they need to get to the late game point. I think that Kronos by himself can shred most of the front line of Torpedo just with how consistent his damage can be. And if Serket cannot focus him down fast enough, and if Angry Pikachu gets to an even point in the late game, I think that that's going to be the dominating pick of the game, the one that's actually going to define whether or not Angry Pikachu can win or lose.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. You mentioned that Game Hunter was himself a pretty comfortable Kronos player. Maybe that's why we saw the Chalk pick in response to Kronos. If he's able to use the his Chalk ultimate to silence out Kronos from being able to rewind, they're going to have a good chance of being able to burst him down.
Yeah, this is very hard to do, though, since it does have a pretty decent-sized channel time for the Chalk Ultimate. I do think it's possible if you get the good sneaky channel on your Ultimate, but I am interested to see if he can pull it off. Ninja Bobad is going to be the person I'm watching the most, though, because he pulls out some phenomenal jungle play with hyper-aggressive junglers. I mean, I've seen his Humbots, I've seen his Thor, I've seen his Serket, all of which phenomenal, and I think that this game is not going to be any different. However, we are getting loaded into the game, so why don't we go ahead and have you introduce the blue side of the map.
All right, on the order side, we have our Angry Pikachus. We got the Pikachu himself coming out on Bologna, going to be taking her to the solo lane today. Big Man Tings doing the big man things. Going to be taking Ares into the duo lane alongside the Bushy, who is on Neith today. Just Lofest going to be taking the Kronos into the solo lane. And Dars are going to be rounding out this comp on Janus in the mid lane.
And over on the red side of the map, Torpedo, Wolf of Elf Street, Elo Street. Oh, I said Elf Street. I don't know where that came from. Wolf of Elo Street going into the duo lane with Athena. In the middle, we've got Carreño on Jonqui in the Hunter role as Freya. We have Moex, Ninja Bobat in the jungle as Serket, and finally Game Hunter as the Chalk player. Now, you know, you did mention that a lot of the focus is going to be put on the Freya, but do you feel like maybe it's almost too much focus? Do you feel like maybe that's giving Angry Pikachu an open invitation to harass the Freya, being a more immobile god who has to deal with an already high pressuring duo lane?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to come down, I think, a little bit to how they elect to build these frontline Chalks and frontline Jonqui. If they go too much towards the tanky side and don't have enough damage, they're not going to pose enough of a threat, and you're absolutely right. Angry Pikachu is just going to focus all their efforts onto taking out that Freya, which is not very hard to do as she is low mobility, but that's going to be the majority of their damage if they elect to go for the kind of three heavy frontliner style builds.
Yeah, and I do like the idea of building Zhonghui a bit more chunky. I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to, say, the old school mage cloak. Going into that Hide of the Urchin onto Zhonghui. That used to be like way back in the day, but
Yeah, that used to be
basically
a
just
staple.
yeah, basically just adding on to the already beefy character Zhang Kuei, making him almost unkillable. But he still is going to be able to pack enough damage if he builds other items on the cheaper scale. Maybe a Warlock Sash or Book of Thoth, which is actually now discounted from like what it was back in the day. So I'm expecting to see some interesting builds on the side of Torpedo just to kind of fit this team comp as best as they can.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be looking to see Shankui. I prefer myself to play tanky characters, so I'll be very interested to see how Carino elects to build Shankui. And it's kind of like most players I feel are still kind of feeling out the best way to build him, as he has been kind of a made a recent return into the meta with his buff to all his protections and health scalings.
Yeah, and he still feels awkward of a character to play because you think about
Yeah.
how you play a mage, and you think about how most top tier mid laners, like MLC Stealth or Laz, anybody, how they really play mages, and it's usually in the back. They usually play very reserved, wait for their opportunity, blow their kit, and then just hope to impact the team fight as best as possible. But you look at Zhang Kuei, it's almost the complete opposite. He sometimes will be as bold as enough to be the initiator.
Yeah, he's like a frontline. That's why it's kind of, like I said, he's kind of contradictory to what a normal mage player, like you were saying, is used to playing. It's like, are these players capable of being an effective frontliner if they're not used to being in the front line? Are they kind of too timid in their playstyles to effectively use a character like Zhang Kuei?
So gonna be very key how he plays that Zhang Kui as to whether or not Torpedo can make a really strong presence. But over the dual lane where you kind of expect a lot of the action to go, nothing really surprising here. I mean, the dual lane on Torpedo side is pushed back to tower. They don't feel too comfortable getting too close to the dual lane on the other
Wolf or
side.
Elo Street taking about 80% of his health here, and
Yeah,
if that
if that spirit arrow had landed, that'd be first
oh,
blood.
that was first blood for sure if that landed. Gotta be careful there. Fortunately, though, he does have a few more potions in his pockets to kind of heal up this poke. But yeah, Mohawks and Wolf at Elo Street finding themselves a little bit pinned back on the back foot here.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, getting dangerously low on both sides. A little bit of latency issue, it looks like, as a couple of players are throwing out skill shots in awkward places. So, very unfortunate, but hopefully that fixes itself here in the nearby future. But already an early rotation, it looks like, from Sir Catch. She might come over to the soul lane and try to find a pick onto this already low health Kronos, and it looks like that's going to be the call. Does she have a blink on her person? Yes, she does. So if he comes anywhere near outside of tower, he's going to be a dead soul laner, but already sniffs it out and is starting to back.
Yep, taking a look at the builds here, we see the uncommon Sash Vampiric Shroud start coming out from Carino, so that looks like he is going to elect to build into the Warlock Sash. I like this move a lot. Warlock Sash, I think, is a great item on its own, and then not to mention once you get it stacked up to 100, that's just such an incredibly valuable item.
I'm too busy giggling over here because it's uncommon sash, because it's also uncommon that it started off. Yeah, but yeah, you get the idea. Basically, it actually is really uncommon. A lot of mages like to have at least a couple of pots to go with just for that sustainability. And you look at Zhang Kui, even though his health is completely fine, untouched, his mana is actually pretty low. He's really depending on Vampiric Shroud to give him back the mana regen to stay in this lane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This build, for those of you that don't know, you start with 1,500 gold in Conquest. This build will eat up all 1,500 gold of that, so you won't be able to start with any potions like most mages tend to prefer to do. Last Breath actually going to come out here onto Bologna, and they're going to chase that down, easily able to pick that up, as it looked like she was just getting a little too confident with her positioning there. She didn't have any of the tools at her disposal, like beads, to get out of that just instant aggression coming out from Bobat.
But to the benefit of Angry Pikachus, they were able to get the first blood just before Bologna died. So
oh, did they?
Yeah,
they did.
They got the kill on Athena just before the Bologna kill. So that is going to be a victory in some fashion to the guys on the side of Angry Pikachus. You see the charts there. It's only a small difference, but a difference nonetheless.
Yeah, first blood is definitely worth picking up.
So now everyone going back to their farming state, taking another look at the builds, just wanting to peek over here at the chalk. Now, an interesting thing to note is whether or not a chalk goes defensively against a Kronos or aggressively, because I haven't seen this matchup in such a long time, and it looks like he's feeling pretty confident going aggressive, not wanting to rush any kind of magical defense item, just wanting to get right into the damage, and he's actually going to go extremely aggressive, diving all the way up to tier 2 tower just to chase the Soul and Kronos.
Game Hunter setting the tone early here. He's been around the block once or twice. He wants to let Lofi know here that he knows how Kronos is played. He knows how to work around it.
Yeah, but now the rotations are coming out from the mid lane to try and help out a little bit there, but instead they're just going to go ahead, pick up the blue buff, leave that for Kronos, and clear out this wave. And Jay is going to make his way back over to mid lane, where Zhonghui is going to meet up with him after he does the red buff.
Yep, everyone just cleaning up their buffs here. Not too much action going on. Taking a look at wards here, we have two deep wards coming out pretty much across the board from Pikachu. I don't see any wards on the map for Torpedo, but they do have Chalk as opposed to some of the squishier mage solo laners. So Game Hunter's not too worried about the gank potential coming out here, as he is so beefy.
Yeah, and it would be a different story also if Bellona wasn't the jungler on the side of Angry Pikachu. She's a very strong jungler, but doesn't have necessarily the same kind of lockdown, I guess, potential as say, like a Humbots, Thor, characters like that. She has the Eagles Rally, but it just doesn't feel the same.
Sure, it's just that quick little second stun there. A little bit, three-man grouping coming out here at the left side mid camps from Angry Pikachu's. Big man things looking like he's positioning as if he wants to blink over the wall, and he is going to blink through. No escape coming through. Athena's going to ult onto.
Oh, they're going solo lane.
Yeah, okay. Quick flip there. She ulted there for the CC immunity. Carino was able to just burn his beads, so no harm, no foul there. But two ultimates used, one on either side there. Pretty even trade.
But I like this. I like Torpedo's aggression there. They wanted to go ahead and Athena wanted to use the ultimate for safety reasons, and then as soon as she was done, or as soon as she was channeling, they was like, let's go ahead and take it over the soul lane. Maybe we can pick up a kill here. And Sercat was waiting in the jungle as well. So Chalk, Sercat, all of them waiting for the opportunity to possibly pick up that kill in the Kronos. They know that he's a threat. They know that he's going to be a problem. So they're looking for opportunities. But credit to just Lufus. He has been playing phenomenally in terms of survivability. He hasn't been able to farm as equally as Chalk, unfortunately for himself, but that's not the point here. His point is to just survive. Just make it to the late game. You don't have to be the MVP of the pre-10-minute mark. You can just steady rock the gold, gold gain, and then make it to a point where you are the MVP.
Yeah, the important thing is to not give up the early kill, not give up the lane pressure to Game Hunter, who has more of an early game character. Chalk is very strong in the early game with his recent buffs to his torrent, making essentially what is a heavy hammer on that skill. The slow is just very effective. In addition to, if he's able to throw his axe out and then activate his rain dance, then that slow is probably about the size of a Hades ultimate.
So, Soul Reliquary on to Kronos. I have to ask your opinion. Do you think this is going to be a Book of Thoth, or do you think we're going to see a very, very early
Soul Reaver. Yeah, this is most very likely to be just the Book of Thoth. Although I'm not, I gotta say, the Book of Thoth this early, the way this item works is it scales off your mana. It converts part of your mana pool to additional magic.
They're going for it. They're going for the kill, and they are going to get it after Eagles Rally comes out. That's going to be a revenge kill going on to Game Hunter. Bellona not going to be able to do too much more. Forced to use the Beast to get out, and there's the Ninja Bobat's taking the through space and time from Janice from across the map, and Janice using the speed up and the portal to try and get close enough to use the unstable vortex, and he's gonna land it onto Athena, and they get the 2 kills in the solo lane.
Oh my god, great shotgun coming out from Tarzan. That did way more damage than I thought it would. Oh my god, that absolutely shredded through Athena's HP. And I think it even stunned Ninja Bobat. He was not expecting that either, as the tail end came through and caught him. We're going to see Big Man Tings blinking through, pulling Zhonghui as his beads are down. World Weaver going to come through as well. The chains are up, but like we were saying, this fat greasy man is just too tanky to be brought down.
I mean, he's got full stacks.
He's
on
sitting
his passive.
comfortably at half HP right now after all that aggression.
He's got Warlock Sash. I mean, he's got everything he needs to survive.
Yeah.
But you know, going back over into the solo lane, Kronos died really early on in that fight, but picking up those 2 kills onto Kronos and to Bellona, that's going to be a good tempo setter for Angry Pikachus. I think that they're going to be able to actually comfortably start making a real presence across the map now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Kronos here taking a little bit of little poke damage towards Chalk, as they're going to look towards the blue buff to be able to pick that up. Chalk and Serket are moving in here, looking like they want to maybe start a fight.
Kronos still has ultimate up and available, so he might want to aggress a bit here, especially since 3 Space and Time just comes in, and Janus wanting to make another star appearance over in the solo lane. But that low cooldown ultimate is probably what's going to keep Game Hunter at bay in the solo lane. Now, is there any way that Ninja Bobat can try and counteract that aggression, or at least try to realign his focus to where he can make more plays? Because he's desperately been looking for something.
Yeah, Ninja Bobat not only able to find 1 early kill on Serket. It's I feel for him though. I mean, Kronos, to me, when I'm jungling, I'm always kind of just like, if the solo laner is pesky to try and kill like a real tanky guy or a Kronos, you know you're just going to go over there, drop your rotation.
Going back at it, they're going to fight it out. Nope, that's not going to be just Lopez on the victorious side. However, his teammates should easily be able to pick up a kill, and Neath is actually going to be able to pick up a 1v1 kill over in the duo lane, while Big Man Tings finishes off Game Hunter in the solo lane. Janus, in a bit of an awkward spot, does not want to get involved with Ninja Bobat right now, so he's just going to go around the backside, get the back harpies, and then come back towards lane.
Yeah, Darzer, his ultimate was down from earlier, so he was not able to make the optimal rotation that he was looking for there. Torpedo going to be able to clean up these mid camps. A little bit of aggression coming out. Tings missing his chain. Going to elect to throw out the no escape here. Pulls Zhang Kui, who pop speeds in return. Has the Athena ultimate. Pops his ultimate to try and get some damage out onto these people. But that looks like it's going to be the disengage there. Perenio just too tanky. They're not getting the damage through with these ganks here in the middle lane.
Yeah, they can't do anything really to him. I mean, they're just basically looking at other lanes, and surprisingly enough, the one that's been the easiest for them has been over in the solo lane, as Chalk now has the Steel Mail built up, so not actually building against Kronos unless this turns to a Midgardian Mail to kind of cut down on the attack speed, but building against the things coming at him, so the Bellona mainly being the bigger issue, as well as the Neath in some aspects.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what Game Hunter elects to build into there. Pikachu's looking like they might want to start up the Gold Fury here, but I don't know if that's the best idea, as Wolf of Elo Street has this warded up. Ooh, beads are going to have to be popped very early on in this, as we have all 5 members from Angry Pikachu's here. Game Hunter is making the slow rotation. They're starting it up here.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and start this up while Game Hunter's not here, or at least look for the aggressive fight, because otherwise they're not going to get anything done with this. But the Gold Fury is down to the last quarter of health, and they might need to just leash this off if they don't pick it up soon. Game Hunter coming on the backside, he might be able to get this. They do get the kill on Wolf of Elo Street. Angry Pikachu's do secure the Gold Fury, and now they're just looking to make sure that they escape with their lives, or at least with most of them, as that is going to be Ares using the ultimate as a defensive maneuver. That's neat. Is he going to be able to land it? Oh. Yes! Big Man Tings doing big man things, as you would say, as he gets the kill onto the Zhang Kui. However, the portal is going to lead him right into the Chalk. He's going to desperately run away. Neath, on the chase, however, uses the backflip aggressively, and Athena is going to charge Defender of Olympus, but is it a waste? No, it's not. Neath misses the Spirit Arrow, and that is not going to secure the kill on the big man, or excuse me, the Chalk, as Neath is now waiting for the backflip cooldown timer. She should be able to get it here soon, and she's actually not even going to be forced to use it, as Athena and Freya not going to really aggress. But look at these Sentry Wards near the Gold Fury. 4 Sentry Wards.
Yeah, crazy vision coming out here. They were able to it was very telegraphed when Wolf of Elo Street was gonna try and come in. His beads were already down, and they were able to just chain their CC real easy onto him, so he wasn't able to dash in to try and get any sort of steal there. As they are gonna portal forward, put a quick burst of damage into Wolf of Elo Street, cleaning him up.
Oh, but now it looks like Darzer in a bit of trouble. He's gonna have a ticket on him, but he's just gonna
But
portal his way
Janice,
out. Yeah, Janice things is gonna do Janice things. However, now just Lopez is the one in trouble, and actually uses the
he's going to
ultimate
pop his ultimate
maybe
back
a
deep into the
bit.
jungle here. This isn't the best position he wants to be in. He's looking like he might get collapsed. Bobat's going to blink forward. Lopez is going to try and make it back for the tier 2. He's got Bologna tanking the tower for him. Great communication there. Lopez,
Yeah, he's dead.
he's caught between a rock and a hard place, but he's almost able to pick up Bobat in return, who does actually make it out. Carino putting the card onto Big Man Tings, popping his ultimate. They're going to try and collapse onto Ares here, but their damage is not quite enough. He pops no escape onto 2, pulling nobody under the tier 1 tower, as they both have CC immunity. Woolweaver out of nowhere! Spirit Gun is able to get Big Man Tings in a position where he's able to clean up.
Using the residue from through space and time to pick up the kill and then escape is beyond me. Angry Pikachu's playing phenomenally so far this game, and they're still continuing as Eagles Rally is going to secure the kill on the Carino. They're still going on the chase. Freya is going to find the kill onto the Pikachu, but she's now in an awkward spot. Athena comes in with a beautiful taunt just to make sure that she's able to survive. Janice forced to use the portal to get out. Is he going to be able to survive is the question. Might be able to with Threshold and another portal. He's got low CDR, and Ninja Bobat actually taking an interesting route after seeing Darzer head towards mid, so that's going to be a full-on retreat from the guys on Angry Pikachu's. But at the end of the day, after all the hecticness, after all the craziness, we're still in the lead in favor of Angry Pikachu's. 3.3k gold and 5k experience.
The mobility on these teams is crazy. Athena's all over the fight. The Spirit Gun, like we were highlighting, is why Janice is so strong. He's allowed to give that mobility to his team. Big Man Tings was able to find his way into the back line for a couple ticks of flames that was able to clean up Ninja Bobat in that last fight. Really well done by these guys.
I really like the communication that these guys are displaying. I like the fact that they're, keeping full count of where Torpedo is at any given moment. They recognized that they were going to lose a tier 1 tower in the solo lane, so they fully committed to the Gold Fury as soon as possible. I liked that decision. I liked the fact that I didn't like the fact that they were split up at the Gold Fury. That was kind of risky in a couple of aspects, but I do like the fact that they were able to recover from that point and then pick up a couple of kills, and then even further on do a bit more of aggressive plays and steal some jungle camps. So a lot of good things coming out from Angry Pikachu. I think that Torpedo is going to have to really bring out their A game in the later stages of the game if they want to try and close this out.
You're right. It's almost a race to see whose hyper carry is going to come online first. Freya actually out farming just Lopez here, as he has hit level 15 in the duo lane, and Lopez is struggling to find 15 himself in the solo lane here. He's seen a lot of pressure though coming out from Game Hunter, the big bully himself.
Yeah, but right now, it looks like Big Man Tings is going to go for the 3-man, no escape, not going to land anybody. Beats popped on all of them, however, so that is going to be something to keep in mind. And those were all levels...
Yeah, he's going to find one of these eventually. These aren't quite level 3 beads, except for on Athena yet, but he's popping this ultimate on cooldown, which is very important to do as Ares, to keep the beads on cooldown. Eventually, you're going to find someone whose beads are down, and they're going to fail the beads check. They're going to get pulled and destroyed by your entire team.
And if not that, then you're looking at quite a bit of CC coming out from the other side to set up kills as Bologna comes to the Eagles rally. The front line has been already destroyed. Wolf of Elo Street not able to survive the aggression. Freya on the backside just trying to get some damage done. Meanwhile, on the other end, it looks like Janice was able to split up the team, and they were rewarded with a tier 1 tower while no one was looking, and they're going to just back off, go for the Gold Fury, I'm assuming, as that is an objective available to them. Freya, no ultimate available, just going to do the back harpies and make her way over to the Gold Fury for the defense, and maybe Game Hunter can do something with her to possibly stop them, but so far it's looking like it's going to be a clean-cut Gold Fury.
Yeah, most of these wards are in favor of Angry Pikachus. They're able to blow this up and hopefully just hard disengage here. This is already a win. They don't need to stick around and risk losing any members of their team. We saw in that last fight Wolf Elo Street just getting blown up, and that's kind of the problem, as he's elected to go for physical defense first, and the damage from Kronos, Janice, and Big Man Tings is proving to be a real problem for him. He's not able to stay alive in these fights whatsoever because all this damage coming out is magic, and he hasn't built against it yet.
And that's the thing right now. Big Man Tings is actually early game MVP by far for Angry Pikachu, sitting 6-1-1. What support are we talking about right now? He's not supporting anyone.
It's Ares, man.
He's scary.
That's how Ares supports. He just kills everyone for you.
Here comes again. The cooldown ultimate is used. Oh my goodness! Through space and time is going to land onto Serket and force her completely out of the fight. Now it's left to the front line to try and dissuade the fight, but here comes Ninja Bobat going for the deeps. He's going to be able to set Pikachu up for death as Game Hunter secures that kill, and now the rest of the members of Angry Pikachu are in an awkward spot. They don't really want to commit any more to this after losing their Bellona and their Eagles rally.
Yeah, that was a good start to the fight, but they weren't able to find what they wanted through the follow-up, coming with the Janus ultimate.
I mean, that through space and time is only going to get worse, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about combos that are only going to get scarier, that's probably one of them. Bookatoth completed. He's got full CDR. I mean, the only thing he's missing now is some hard pin, and he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, we're seeing this, like, taking another look at the builds here. Game Hunter is elected just to get his Emerald Talisman online. This is the first kind of magical defense item we've seen come out. But looking over on the side of Angry Pikachu's, most of this damage is coming from Ares, it's coming from Kronos, it's coming from Janus, who are all magical sources of damage. Bellona hasn't built much in the way of damage. She's got her Itch of Ol, her Frostbound, and her Wing Blade. Those aren't really like hard damage items. Those are more kind of utility items.
Yeah, I think there's been a bit of a kind of autopilot build style coming out from Game Hunter, maybe. But at the same time, I think that he was doing the physical defense start just to kind of deal with the early pressure that Bellona gave, as well as the Neath Spirit Arrow, or excuse me, World Weaver. So it was kind of hard for him to decide where to go. But I'm a bit more not concerned, but interested in the Emerald Talisman choice, which of course is going to lead to the Stone of Gaia. Is that really all that preferable over, say, a Bulwark of Hope that does give that huge shield once you reach a certain threshold?
I think Emerald Talisman is fine. Like, if he elects, he could elect to stay here at level 2. This is one of the most...
Is that Athena with a red buff?
It could be.
It is!
Yeah, we're seeing, maybe that may have been a bit of miscommunication. But yeah, coming back to that, Emerald Talisman Tier 2 is one of the most valuable items in the game because you actually get the passive at level 2. You don't get very much more stats for your gold upgrading that to level 3. So we could see Shock elect to stay here and sit on this item and then build into another magical defense item. As we see a little bit of aggression come out, forcing Freya up into her ultimate early. They're going to be able to take this Tier 1 for free through space and time. Not going to hit its mark. We're going to see Game Hunter blink in, or teleport into the Tier 2 tower, pushing forward, but Pikachus have gotten what they want from this. They're just going to elect to back up, clean up their jungle.
Yeah, not only clean up the jungle, but ward heavily. I mean, you take a look again at the ward, it's just disgusting how much vision they have, and there's actually no vision on the map for Torpedo. They have no wards, nothing. They're actually going to throw down, I think, their first ward over at the Fire Giant pit as Game Hunter comes over, and no, he actually didn't, so he was just hard face checking just to make sure, hey, there's nobody sneaking this. That's another factor. Do they have the damage with just Kronos and Bellona to just sneak the Fire Giant?
Probably not at this stage of the game.
But I mean later on.
Yeah, definitely later on. That is absolutely something they need to be careful of. Kronos can shred through objectives late game once he gets his core items online.
Kronos, taking a look at this build, it looks like it's mostly just heavy magic damage, something you would expect out of just a regular mage build. So he's really staying focused on survivability and just raw damage. But now, Bellona just kind of dancing around with the Chalk. They found quite a bit of damage onto him. Now as Chalk forced to use the ultimate, that's a big tool used in 3 space and time, not going to land, but it is going to land onto Serket, and that's going to set up the no escape. Is it going to be a gut rip? Not a gut rip, but a finisher is going to be secured for Big Man Tings, who is now sitting 7-1. Eagles rally. Athena is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and is Carreño going to be able to escape? Yes, he is, but unfortunately, Wolf of Elo Street not going to be able to share the same fate. And now, 5-man strong Angry Pikachus are going to make their way back to the Fire Giant.
Great fight coming out from there. They were able to force Game Hunter out, which is a big part of their... As they set up this ambush, they're looking like... Because, look at this. Torpedo has no wards on the map, as Carreño just blindly walks up to 5 people, and gets blown up.
Yeah, they're not really playing...
They need to get wards on the map. They need more. Like, the ward game is just dominated by Pikachus right now. Wards win games.
Look at I mean, just look across the map. I mean, I can count nearly 7 wards, most of which sentry wards, just denying vision across the map for Angry Pikachu's. And right now, it looks like they are actually going to go for the Gold Fury, but then change their mind to a kill, and Game Hunter forced to use the escape maneuver just to get away, and they're making their way back over to the Gold Fury.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them just finish off Gold Fury here. Taking another look at the builds, we see Kronos is going for a real expensive build here as he has yet to finish his third item, which looks like it's going to be Warlock Sash.
It could be Ethereal.
Could be Ethereal at this point. This late in the game, 23 minutes, I would prefer to see an Ethereal come out from this. I think it's a little late to start trying to stack Warlock. The laning phase is pretty much over at this point.
Yeah, 25 minutes in the game. I mean, there is no laning phase. So I think Ethereal Staff would be a good call by Kronos. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it. It gives him also that extra little bit of damage as well with the passive. So not a bad build decision nonetheless. But taking a look over at this Giannis, I'm really curious to see what he's about to build because he's been sitting on this 3 specific items for a long time. I don't know if he's just been out across the map like for a very long time or he's sitting on... Yeah, he's sitting on 2k gold right now, and there it is, Obsidian Shard right off the gate. So that's the hard pin he needed. Now he's
going for the blueberry build.
Blueberry
blue items. Yeah, that Gold Fury taken absolutely for free. Gold lead spooling up to about 9,000 here. Look at Torpedoes, they're all creeping up to the Gold Fury to see if they've started it, but to their knowledge, this has been taken long ago. It is long gone, sons. You gotta get the wards on the map.
And the big thing is they have no idea when it comes back up because they didn't have any vision on it when it was completed. So right now it's just a blank dot on their screen. They have no inclination as to when it's going to come back up. But here's the gank attempt by a couple members of Angry Pikachu as now Big Man Tinks is going to start off with a couple of chains. Beats forced out of Athena. And oh my god! That was damage and a half coming out from Darzers securing the kill onto Wolf of Elo Street.
Has he missed a Spear Gun today?
Yes, he has, but it's very rare.
Homeboy's like 9 for 10 right now.
Like, if there was a percentage base here, it would be like 80% in favor of him hitting. But they're good. Oh, goodness gracious. Half of an unstable vortex just smashed the health bar of Ninja Bobat. And now they're deciding as to whether or not they want to go for the fight or not. And it looks like they're going to go in for it. That's going to be Heavenly Agility popped in favor of Angry Pikachus. And their health bars are getting dangerously low. In fact, Freya able to find a kill onto the Pikachu as Unstable Vortex is going to secure the kill onto Ninja Bobat, but the Poison proc is going to destroy half of their team comp. This is the swing around potential for Torpedo. They can get these last few kills. That could easily be the game going in their favor. And there it is. The Bushy is going to be taken out. That is going to be Fire Giant easily for the guys on Torpedo. Kronos, the last man standing. He has an ultimate. He can try to make a big play here, but it's almost ill-advised as there's really no benefit to doing so. Just go ahead, farm up a little bit, maybe take some enemy jungle camps, and then back. Go home. Try and defend the Phoenix if you can, but low health bars over near the Fire Giants. Yeah, low health bars near those Fire Giants. And actually, Kronos is just going all for broke. He's going for the tier 2.
Ruh-roh. Good Aegis there. Going to be able to immune the Aegis. Oh, look at the body blocks!
The body block.
Wolf of Elo body blocking him regardless of not having taunt into the shield wall. Lopez in a bad spot here. Both beats. He's going to ult right back into Freya's mouth and just get shredded.
No. That's going to be dead. Just Lopez. He got a little bit too aggressive there and went for the take on the tier 2 tower, knowing that they were doing Fire Giant. But as long as that fight was over, he should have realized that they were going to finish that by then.
Yeah, kind of a late call from Kronos. It's not a bad one. It's just one you have to kind of make very quickly, very decisively if you're going to get away with something like that.
So now Ares has started to hit the point where he's not going to be able to just snowball the game anymore. He's 7-2, and so now a couple of these kill numbers need to go up on the other side, so mainly being Janus as well as Kronos. Those two are going to be the very key portions of the team fight for Angry Pikachus. Neath kind of falling out of the just direct AD carry usefulness in comparison to Freya.
Yeah, as the game progresses into later and later stages, Freya Freya and Kronos are honestly going to be the two shining stars on either team as far as just straight hyper carry damage. Janus going for the split push over here in the left lane. Yeah, he's got the Obsidian Shard online. He's got a lot of power online. This is definitely not a bad call as he's able to rotate so quickly back in, but he's going to have to make a decision here whether he wants to push for the Phoenix by himself or return home to help his team defend their middle Phoenix.
I think that he should back now if his team calls out to him, hey,
oh, he's
Chalk
going
just
for
backed.
it. Nah, he's going for it. Yeah, Chalk did back to kind of stop this Phoenix split push.
So I think he should start channeling his back here soon just to make sure that he's able to get to his team and help them out. But right now he's just kind of roaming the map a little bit. And Zhongli actually caught out quite severely, forced to use the Beats ultimate, and they're going to try and dump a lot of bursts onto Chronos, who just uses the ultimate to escape there. But still no assistance coming out from the Janus just yet. In fact, a lot of the members of Angry Pikachu's might have bit off a bit more than they can chew. They're going to need to retreat here as soon as possible. Fire Giant, just too much burst damage in the pockets of Torpedoes right now. Stun comes out from Kronos, not going to land onto anyone just yet.
Yeah, the longer this fight goes, the more it's going to start to swing in favor of Torpedo, who does have the Fire Giant buff. Keeping their health bars fresh, as we see them backing off most of them. This frontliner, yeah, their front line is really starting to come online here. Angry Pikachu's window is starting to close here as they're able to get their tanky magical items online. It's going to get harder and harder, especially with Big Man Tings not able to just shred through Athena like he's been doing all game.
Yeah, I mean, Big Man Tings has been really the story of why Angry Pikachu's has been able to do whatever they want to do. But now he needs to rely on his teammates to kind of pick up the reins and drive the team. But it's not looking like an unreasonable request. I mean, Kronos has the Obsidian Shard. He's working on his Rod Tahuti. Janus now working on his Rod Tahuti. A lot of burst damage is coming up. And look at the gold difference. I mean, it's been, relatively speaking, maintained even though Fire Giant went over to Torpedo. They picked up the tier 1 tower in the middle lane. They picked up the tier 2 tower in the dual lane, and the soul lane they just picked up another tier 1 tower. So they did lose the big gold lead they had, but they haven't lost completely the gold lead and experience lead.
Yeah, structures are about even on both sides of the map here. No builds have been finished, so this is still an effective gold lead as well as the experience. We only have 3 level 20s on the side of Pikachu's, as well as 3 level 20s on the side of Torpedo.
There's beats popped on quite a few members over in the dual lane, as now Wolf of Elo Street is going to lead off with a taunt. And only a couple of members of Torpedo are here, and that is going to be Game Hunter getting taken out immediately. Meanwhile, on the backside, Serket is trying to make some plays happen. Zhongli is channeling his ultimate on the backside too. This team fight is really split up, as now it looks like Janus is going to come back and pay attention to Zhongli, as Ares was able to find a kill on the Moex, and that's going to be a huge win in favor of Angry Pikachu's. As now there is no real front line available for Torpedo, and that's just the damage potential that the guys on Angry Pikachu's are bringing. Fire Giant coming up soon. Not just yet, but soon. 15 seconds left.
Yeah. Angry Pikachu is going to be in a really good spot here to try and take this next Fire Giant coming up. In that last fight, Torpedo was so split up. Game Hunter was picked off basically before Carino had even arrived to the fight. We talked about earlier, they need to rely on all these frontliners attacking together, really like shattering the front line of Angry Pikachu's, kind of splitting them up, allowing Serket to get in the back line, do her thing, and protect Freya, and just none of that's really coming together as of late.
Well, they are going to start the Fire Giant. Only person here really trying to defend it is the Serket, who's forced to use her escape mechanics to get away from this Janus Bellona combination, and now Chalk is here as well, so they need to start making a decision. As hold on a second, Serket is taking way too much damage. There's the call. Angry Pikachu's going to turn their attention to the fight, as that almost hit. That was so close, but it's not over just yet, as Big Man Tings is going to lead the charge into killing off Game Hunter, who was just taking so much damage. Frontline not together and unified, so they're getting picked off very easily.
Yeah, we've seen Game Hunter had to use his ult defensively pretty much exclusively this game. He's kind of gone in by himself and just had to kind of ult defensively to just stay alive.
And now it looks like Angry Peaches is just waiting it out, trying to find the opportunity. And oh my goodness, Serket is going to find up. She just almost gives up. That's way too much damage. Way too much damage to survive. Kronos looking at Freya, maybe an ADC box off there, but no, they turn it back around over to Carreño, who's forced to use his ultimate and burst damage. Taunt is going to set up beautifully, stopping the Pikachu from coming down with a hammer slam, and that is going to be a retreat coming out from Torpedo as the rest of the members of Angry Pikachu are debating on what to do next. They just sort of lost that fight, and so they can't do Fire Giant, but they also want to continue their aggression, and it looks like they're going to try and just look for any opportunities. Athena comes in. That might have been too aggressive of a call. They're going to need to find something here soon. Portal used to escape for Janice. This is the sign. It's time to go.
Yeah, I don't like what Angry Pikachu's is doing here. They're kind of just hanging around, staying too long. They need to make a decision here whether they want to get in or get out.
Oh dear. That's a dead Darzer. Walked into a bad corner of the jungle. Athena chased him down, killed him off. So that is actually really huge for Torpedo.
Yeah, stay in. They just overstayed their welcome. You got to get in or you got to get out. You can't be making yourself available to be picked there.
And now it looks like Giannis is going to be down for about 40 more seconds, and this might be the opportunity Torpedo needs to go for the Fire Giant. That's a huge damage dealer. In fact, I believe, if I check here for a second, yeah, he is almost highest player damage in the game, only losing to Zhang Kui at the moment, who is sitting about 1,000 gold ahead of him. And that's pretty impressive for someone who's competing with a guy who just presses a button and all of a sudden damage just automatically flows out.
Onto all 5 characters, no less.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now just a posturing battle. I mean, just a vision battle over the Fire Giant is going to be the next probably next 2 minutes of the game. One team is waiting for their Janus to respawn, which he is about to do so, and then the other team is just looking for a kill opportunity. They know that they can't win a muscle battle with the guys on Torpedo. They're still down in gold. They're still down in a couple of aspects. Wolf of Elo Street is still behind, as he is not level 20, but neither is Ares, surprisingly enough, who is 8-2-8.
Yeah, taking a look at all the builds here as both teams jostle for position around Fire Giant. Freya electing to finish her build with a Ward Stone, obviously going to be built into a Void Stone. More of a kind of hybrid defensive item instead of a hard hyper damage carry kind of late game item.
Kronos does have the Rod Tahuti completed, as well as Janus, so both Rod Tahuti's are completed. That's going to be a high swing of burst damage, and Neith caught out. She's going to be able to land the backflip before any of the CC lands onto her, and Big Man Tings is looking for the initiation potential because that is huge, and there it is. Moex is going to be taken out. This is going to be a complete disaster for the guys on the side of Torpedo, as Big Man Tings able to force out a couple of beads on the front line, but over on the backside, unfortunately, Game Hunter is just 1v3, not able to do anything, and meanwhile on the other side, 2 people just warded off 3 individuals from Torpedo. So now Fire Giant, oh, is he gonna get it? One shot from Darzer with the through space and time. That is disgusting.
My man is on it today. Oh my gosh, he's been all over Serket with those ultimates.
And now he's in complete paranoia mode as he tries to find a way to avoid some of the damage coming out from Athena and Carreño. Looking for the stun onto Carreño, but none of them are landing their abilities, and that actually could end up with them dying as Big Man Ting is trying to lead the charge and say, alright, I'm going to take this kill since you guys aren't doing it for me. But the taunt comes out from Athena. She's going to be able to run away. No, actually not able to do so just yet. Carreño finding the kill on the Bushy by himself, and meanwhile over in the middle lane, Bellona able to find the tier 2 tower. So that's still a somewhat win in favor of Angry Pikachu's.
Yeah, they're kind of still splintered up as a team as far as what they want to do. You know, Bellona's not exactly known for her split push, especially with a lot of these just attack speed and no damage items coming out for her. But they are going to start up the Fire Giant. Spirit Cone coming back through. Game dear. Coming through real hot. He's finally able to use an offensive ult, but it gets Aegis by Kronos, who is still under fire from Moex, able to juke it out. Big Man Tings gets ult onto both characters.
Intestinal rip! That's going to be Eagles Rally coming out onto Freya, who's going to just use the Vanish. Aegis pop, and she's going to try and survive, but unfortunately you just cannot survive this kind of damage too long as Bellona isolates him out and is able to find the kill. Meanwhile, Carreño able to get the kill on the Darzer. That's a big damage dealer gone from the fight. Are they going to be able to continue it up from there? Unfortunately, the Pikachu not going to be able to survive much longer. So again, staying a little bit too long. Angry Pikachu is going to get punished.
This is so back and forth right now. Neither team able to come up quite with enough kills to get a definitive look on the Fire Giant here. We've been seeing probably about 10 or 15 minutes now of just jostling around the Fire Giant. Just kill here, 2 kills here.
I'm assuming this enchanted ring is going to be a demonic grip. I'm assuming. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's definitely going to be a demonic grip. Rounding out Kronos' build here. Kind of a strange World Weaver used a little bit early with no one in position to follow up. The Heavenly Agility is popped here from Bushy. He's getting really aggressive. Lands the Spirit Arrow. Still 1v3 though. His team is not in position to follow this up as he backs out about 25%.
They want to go for the kill opportunity, and look at that Kronos damage. Whoa! Man, that was almost a dead Circuit, but Defender of Olympus used on the near-death Circuit, so that's going to ultimately not going to be available for a while. Not sure if the members of Angry Pikachu saw it, however, so they might not have the intel that it is gone for the next couple of seconds. But with all this burst damage coming out from the side of Angry Pikachu, they have to start synergizing it up if they want to try and make a kill. And over on the other side, Torpedo, they've been playing the frontline game very well. I mean, the High of the Urchin is on Zhonghui, and he's got a lot of utility into his build. I mean, a Gem of Isolation bringing in a bit more health, as well as the Slow Proc, Warlock Sash just bringing in more health. So he is completely chunky. And then you look over at Freya, complete opposite story, just high burst damage.
Definitely both great builds coming out here from both teams. Still fighting for the war control. I'd like to see them really just make a decision here. Maybe group up as 5, go push the left Phoenix. As soon as Torpedo comes in to defend it, everyone just Spirit Gun over to the Fire Giant, start that up, try and blow it up quick before Torpedo can make the rotation.
They do have the burst damage to do that, and I think that that would be a smart call, but it looks like there's not going to be any potential of that happening with these guys so close to the Fire Giant pit. But there it is, 3 Space and Time going to chunk out even the tanky Carreño, who is now on full retreat. Defender of Olympus is used to try and mitigate some of this damage, but his first kill is going to be on the Darzer. The poison is still spreading onto quite a few people. Just Lopez is looking for all the early burst damage potential, is able to get off the ultimate, and he's going to be able to reset this fight a little bit. Goes for the burst damage, is able to find just a little bit. Freya uses the Vanish to separate the fight, but now they've left poor Game Hunter to defend for himself as he's going to be taken out almost instantly. Nope, actually able to survive just barely, and Bellona is dangerously low.
Look at these health bars. Look at these health bars right now. Everyone is sitting below 25% health. No one can quite find the kill. They're all split up. Everyone's 1v1ing each other. Oh, Big Man Ting's able to find a great chain onto Wolf Elo Street, but it's going to be just enough to finish him off. But unfortunately for him, Moex and Game Hunter are hot on his trail. The Banish is going to be able to secure this kill.
Oh, the chains! The chains might do it! The chains might do it! Is he the hero? No, he's not the hero. He's not the champion, but he is the brave man.
Look at these health bars right now. I can't believe this. Everyone is so low right now. It ended up being a 4-for-3 exchange in favor of Torpedo. Ninja Boba and Carreño actually about to respawn. That just goes to show you how long that fight ended up going.
Yeah, I mean, and you look on the other side, it's the same story. You've got Neith coming up, who was actually like one of the first few people to die in that fight. But the big story, I think, is that the guys on Torpedo know who they have to get down. They have to kill Darzer, and they've been doing it really early on every time. So it just leaves for a broken fight afterwards. And it's kind of up to just Lopez to really try and make something happen. But credit to the guys on Torpedo. Freya has been surviving most of these fights, and on top of that, she's been doing a lot of damage. She's actually reaching higher and higher under the damage chart, now sitting at 32k, 4th highest in the game underneath Kronos and Zhonghui.
Yep, this is really, at this point, the gold lead is essentially out the window as everyone has finished their builds. Everyone's level 20. It's just going to come down to, I feel, one big team fight. If one person can get a good initiate here and allow one team to wipe the other, they're going to be able to just end the game at this point. It's 42 minutes in. These respawn timers are going to get real long here shortly.
I mean, it's really going to come down to if one team decides the other strongly enough, then Fire Giant's irrelevant. You can just take the game. You can just push through the Phoenix. And both teams have Phoenix's Bear. One team more so than the other. There's only one Phoenix Bear on the side of Angry Pikachu's, whereas on the side of Torpedo, they have 2 Phoenix's Bear, which is a bit more problematic. But nonetheless, looks like everyone's going to start posturing again over towards this Fire Giant. Kronos split pushing, trying a different approach.
I like the point you brought up about, you know, how Fire Giant's starting to matter less and less. But yet, these teams, as we see, they're still just jostling for position around the Fire Giant, as Pikachu has taken about 60% of his health in poke. Chalk's going to blink in, but elect not to aggress any further, as it looking like a full disengage. Here we go. We have Darzer over in the left lane, finally pushing an objective. You need Phoenixes to win, so why aren't they jostling for sieging up a Phoenix or something like that, as Fire Giant hasn't. Gets started up over here by Torpedo.
Oh, but now look at it, here it comes. He's going to go for the fight opportunity as his team has been engaged on, and that's going to be the Bushy taken out already. It's looking like a disastrous fight for the guys of Angry Pikachus, but we have seen swings before, especially when Darzer gets involved, and he's coming in to try and make a play. Big Man Tings is trying to do Big Man things as he's going to land a couple of chains, and now just Lopez on the backside, able to find the Jean Kui kill. Darzer not able to survive much longer. Meanwhile, the health bars on the side of Torpedo is dangerously low, and they're getting a lot of free damage out from this Kronos. Triple kill is coming out. He's looking for the Quadra. Quadra kill is going to be the finishing nail for the guys on the side of Torpedo, as they have more than enough on Angry Pikachu's side to try and push down at least 2 Phoenixes.
Good, beautiful fight coming out there from Angry Pikachu. It was bound to happen. Kronos was left unchecked in that fight and was able to just fall into his hyper carry role and just shred through the entire team of Torpedo. And smartly, they're electing to go straight for this Phoenix, just forget the Fire Giant, get some objectives down, get some map pressure on here.
Yeah, they're going to push down this Phoenix, and stasis mode comes out. This typically, if this is the hard stasis, means that the game ended in the next 3 minutes, which is very unfortunate. We didn't get to see, how it ended. Torpedo come out ahead, Angry Pikachu's come out ahead. Who really put the definitive cap on this game? And I don't know if necessarily it was Angry Pikachu, because, you never know. Wolf of Elo Street could have made an amazing defense. So we did just hear from our admins, Pikachu's won.
Yeah, I don't think this is very surprising. They had 3 against 1. Everyone on the side of Torpedo had above a minute respawn time, and they did have their hyper carry in Kronos able to just shred through the health of Titan. Wolf of Elo Street probably couldn't have done much to defend that by himself.
Yeah, it's too hard of an argument to make to just sit here and actually say, okay, we'll defend this Phoenix, we'll defend the left Phoenix because those were 2 easy objectives, especially for a Kronos, and then we'll turn around and get a deicide on a team while we have 2 Phoenixes down and probably can't defend the Fire Giant very effectively.
Yep. Overall, great game coming out from both teams. Very, very, very back and forth there towards the end of the game. And finally, Angry Pikachu is able to find a definitive win in a team fight, allowing them to charge down middle lane, ending this game here. As we're locked in stasis mode, we'll probably just throw you guys to a wait screen until the next game.
Yeah, so you guys don't go anywhere. Again, this is Fall EU Challengers Cup Week 7. We'll be right back after we get set up for the next match. Stay tuned.